Division I track and field doesn't get on television much, but when it does, there's only a few meets that you should expect to see. The NCAA championships are televised on ESPN, and thanks to ESPN Plus, you can even watch the prelims if you really want to that badly. That's actually where Julian Alfred first broke the collegiate record in the 60-meter dash. In the prelims, not in the final. And aside from that, the SEC conference meet is likely the only time you'll see it while flipping through the channels. So if you actually saw Britton Wilson break her collegiate record on TV, then you have the SEC network and their partnership with ESPN to thank for it. Unless you have an active ESPN Plus subscription and a lot of time on your hands, you're probably not going to see much from any other conference in D1. And by the way, there are 30 of them, but only one of them still imposes a ban on athletic scholarships, and that is the Ivy League. If you watch my channel, then you know that I've already tried to tell you that all those smart kids in the Ivy League actually do track and field really, really well. So well, in fact, that Gabby Thomas, Maya Ramsden, and Graham Blanks have all won D1 NCAA titles, but all of them compete for Harvard University, which is just one of 8 teams in that conference, which is why you probably weren't paying attention when Isabella Whittaker ran 51.69 in the 400-meter dash indoors. That makes her one of the 10 fastest women in the nation in that event at the time I'm recording this video. Not to mention that she's the collegiate leader right now, indoors in the 500-meter run. So she is now a legitimate threat at the NCAA championship meet. And she runs for the University of Pennsylvania, which is not to be confused with Penn State University, which is actually in the Big Ten, and they give scholarships over there. The Pennsylvania Quakers, which is actually their mascot, are best known for hosting the Penn Relays, but not for actually winning anything in the meet itself. The truth is that Isabella Whittaker is a talented track athlete who chose UPenn over a bunch of other Division I options. And I'm sure some of those options also involved scholarship dollars. So the only reason you might think she was never supposed to be this fast is because of the uniform she's been wearing the entire time she's been in Division I. But if she can keep this up, she can not only contend for an NCAA championship medal, but she can actually get on national TV. Because let's be honest, most people weren't tuning in to the Ivy League Conference Championship meet anyway. That's with or without an ESPN Plus subscription. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. Isabella Whittaker has been in college for some time, and she's always been wearing a UPenn uniform. That's the only real reason why she wasn't on your radar. However, she is just one of 2 women in the NCAA right now who share her last name and also are dominating Division I. Juliet Whittaker is her sister and competes for Stanford University, where she won an NCAA title in the DMR, but as a freshman also was the runner-up in the 800-meter run indoors. But that's only telling half the story, because she was also the Gatorade Track Athlete of the Year while she was in high school. With that in perspective, her freshman year at Stanford makes a whole lot more sense. But Isabella is her older sister and paved the way for Juliet by dominating on the track in her own right. At the high school level, Isabella would have rated as a 4-star recruit on SCArecruiting.com at the end of her junior year, and her senior year was in 2020. But we all know what happened back then. Her range in the 200 all the way up to the 800 earned her Track Athlete of the Year status for the state of Maryland, and likely could have written her ticket to almost any D1 program. But she chose the University of Pennsylvania in the Ivy League instead, or evidently she didn't need a scholarship to attend. I've already explained in other videos that the Ivy League doesn't give out athletic scholarships because they really don't need to. They have so much financial aid money to offer that if Isabella or any other athlete really needed it, they would get it. But Isabella choosing UPenn is still a very big deal, because quite simply, They don't get 4-star recruits on a regular. As far as the rest of D1 is concerned, the Penn Quakers are really just a team that hosts the Penn Relays. They do compete to win the Ivy League, but they haven't scored even 1 point at the NCAA indoor or outdoor championship meets for the entire time Isabella's been on the roster, at least until now. But when she got to Penn, she made her presence felt immediately by qualifying for the NCAA championships in the 400-meter dash as a freshman. And for the record, I'm talking about outdoors, which means she had to qualify out of the regional as well. Of course, nobody really noticed because she didn't make the final. But the point is, she was already there out the gate. From that point, you could argue that she underachieved if you really want to. She won the Ivy League as a sophomore outdoors, but failed to get back to the NCAA championship meet. And as a junior, she didn't even win the 400 at all. Indoors or outdoors in the Ivy League. But she didn't run slow. It's just proof that the Ivy League is actually as fast as I've been trying to tell you. After that, she barely missed out on qualifying for the NCAA championships in the 400. But this time, she helped UPenn get in for the 4x4 relay. And I would have to argue that qualifying an entire relay team for the NCAA championship meet is even more impressive than getting an individual runner in when you are not a member of a major conference. That technically means that the Penn Quakers, with all their non-scholarship runners, were one of the best collections of talent in the entire NCAA. All of that brings us to what just happened, because when Isabella Whittaker went out and ran the fastest time in college this year, indoors in the 500, it was validation of the athlete that she's already proven to be. The 500 is not an NCAA championship event, but it is run at certain conference meets, and that includes the Ivy League. And if that wasn't enough, she ran a legit PR, indoors in the 400, to rank herself inside the top 10. So now she has a real chance to show up to the NCAAs again, and actually put UPenn on the board for the first time in a while. I have no idea what the future of Isabella Whittaker's career will look like, but when I check the receipts, what I see is an athlete who always belonged running against the best. She dominated her home state in several events, so much so that she left behind a blueprint for her sister to follow, all the way to becoming the best athlete in the nation. She then proved to become one of the best 400-meter runners in the entire NCAA as a freshman for a team that hardly ever even shows up to the NCAA meet. And now she's making it clear that it was not a fluke, and she has what it takes to get the Quakers on the national leaderboard while contending for a championship medal. I don't know if she will pull it off, but I know who I'll be rooting for at the NCAA Indoor Championship meet, because everybody loves a good underdog story, and the University of Pennsylvania Quakers definitely qualify as such, even if Isabella Whittaker is technically not one herself. SCA track and field gear is here. Fast is a lifestyle, and what you wear should reflect that. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.